So this is the second MU Radionics circuit that I have developed. It's very simple, just a representation of the circuit on a piece of paper. Now you can pay thousands and thousands of pounds for radionic circuits, which are made up of copper wire and various other components, physical components. But it's important to remember that these physical components are just symbolic. So basically the dials and everything that you get on a radionic circuit are really physical symbols, if you like. And these symbols can be represented pictorially on a piece of paper for nothing. Literally, free download. So there's no need to pay for thousands of pounds worth of circuitry. Really there isn't. Because the circuitry isn't really doing anything. It's merely focusing your mind, your consciousness. So if you want to pay £6,000 for a radionic circuit, then be my guest. But there's really no need at all. And but I guess some people like to pay out a lot of money for something which really should cost absolutely nothing at all. Maybe it all helps in the long-term placebo effect. Anyway, this is a radionic circuit, a totally valid one. And let me introduce you to the various components, symbolic components. This is the analyzer here at the bottom, and you put your lock of hair, the client's hair or sample, DNA sample, on this analyzer. This is the transmitter, and it actually transmits the radionics energy to the client. This is receives energy from the universe, these three little arrows here, and that's that component there. These five components are what they call injectors, and each injector represents a different component of the universe. The universe is composed of three different elements: preservative, destructive and creative, and also dispersive and dialectical. Okay, obviously creative is obvious, and destructive is also pretty obvious, and preservative, everything is in dynamic equilibrium, and dispersive, forces of entropy, and finally the dialectical. Basically you have two forces opposed to one another and in a constant state of conflict with one another. Now all these five forces are in a state of dynamic equilibrium, but if the dynamic equilibrium breaks down and one force dominates over the other four forces, then you have dysfunction. And basically the idea of this circuit is to bring these five forces of the universe into harmonious balance. So to re-establish dynamic equilibrium between components, and so basically the problems of the client are analysed so that the degree of imbalance is determined. Okay, and then basically energy is drawn from the universe, and the whole lot is connected together and then transmitted. And basically each of these components, as you can see, as a dial from 1 to 5. 1 is the is minimum, 5 is the maximum. Okay, it doesn't really matter what these represent. It's important to remember that each one of these components is a symbol, and if you remember what I said about symbol, the word activate, energy and volition, they all converge and are represented by these particular symbolic ways. Okay, so basically it doesn't make any difference what you say about 1 and 5. It's a symbolic representation. So all you do basically is that you place your sample here, and then you work with the sample and with the radionic circuit to transmit the final resultant here. And come on to the method now.